Let's jump back into the wider world of Atari, shall we? I have with me a coffee. It's in the Moo Moo cup. My favorite cup, the Moo Cow cup. Where were we, though? I left off at... Oh, Berserk. Berserk. Let's go ahead and say Atari Video Cubes. I don't remember this. A handful of Atari 2600 games were only offered as mail-order titles through the Atari Club. The first, Atari Video Cube, began as an unlicensed interpretation of the 1980s puzzle phenomenon Rubik's Cube, but its mechanics ultimately differed. AVC's limited availability makes it a rare prize among modern collectors. A rare prize. Inspired by the puzzle craze of the early 1980s, Atari Video Cube challenges players to organize the colors on a rotatable cube through their on-screen avatar, Hubie, the Cube Master. Originally an exclusive offer to members of the Atari Club, this rare gem was later reissued with the official Rubik's Cube license. Really? All right, how do you play? Wait. What? Hold on a sec here. Gameplay. Hubie's home is a six-sided multicolored cube. Each side has 9 smaller faces, colored red, blue, green, white, purple, or orange. When you start a game, the colors in the cube are scrambled. Your task is to rearrange the colors so that each side becomes one solid color. Play Atari Video Cube by moving Hubie around the cube and having him pick up and drop colors. Each time Hubie picks up a color, he trades his color for the one he has picked up. You can then make Hubie run to another face to trade for a different color. Solve the puzzle and release the mask. Hubie before he picks up a color. Hubie after he picks up a color. So he becomes that color, and then it... All right, let me... How do you move Hubie, though? I don't understand. Oh. Okay. All right. Got it. So now we go up here. We go back. I can't. Why can't I leave? Can't go back? That's a pretty good effect, by the way, of the cube turning. Okay, you can go back. But now I can't go back up. Why can't I go back up? Oh, you can't go into a square that you're already the color of. I see. I see. All right. Well, it's going to be tricky near the end when you just can't see. Oh, this is a little tricksy. It's a bit tricksy. Where's the rest of the orange ones here? Got a side. I got a side. Come on now. Every time you... Okay. Just pushing against a square that you can't move to still costs you a point. Or gains your... You're supposed to get 298 is your moves. You're supposed to get less moves. That's how you win. That's how you do best, just by getting less moves. What? Get out of town. Yeah, this game's alright. I mean, you know. This is really a conundrum, a bit of a thing here, because... Alright. Got 3 colors now. Close to having red. Where's is it 4 colors do I have? Oh, here's the red. Alright, how do I get over to the red now? Here's one. And then purple. I think I'm almost there actually, right? Because I drop... Oh, wait a minute. Where's the... Where is... Like, where can I drop this purple, though? Must be down there. Right there. There. Is that it? I think that's it. 632. That's my record. Try to beat it. Oh, yeah. All right. You know what? Interesting game. Collector's item. I'm sure there's some people that that's their prized possession is an Atari Video Cube, sealed Atari Video Cube. Who would is there any sealed ones, though? Because who would mail order something and then never open it? Like, that almost seems... The odds of that happening are pretty slim. Here's the box art. This artwork was used for the main box art for both Atari Video Cube and the Rubik's Cube reissue. Takes a literal approach to illustrating the gameplay. Yeah, it does. Not as interesting, though. Puzzles on the Brain. A cerebral but unused illustration for Rubik's Cube created by Durrell Dickey. I like this. It's a whole new cube. It will be at least 6 months before Atari Video Cube is sold in any store, notes this Atari Club ad. This game was re-released in 1984, retitled with the official Rubik's Cube license. Where's the convenient mail order form? This Atari Age feature takes a holistic view on the Rubik's Cube craze, offering an academic look at puzzles throughout the ages before ending with a preview for the upcoming Atari Video Cube. Look at this interesting thing, huh? Ancient puzzles. Oh man, these things. We can only move one at a time. But you gotta, I think, what do you have to do? Get them all to the center or something? I don't recall. After the NES, when the Nintendo Entertainment System resuscitated the console market in the mid-80s, Atari offered the 7800, but continued delivering fresh hard software to the 2600 owners as well. However, as players moved on to new hardware, many of these later 2600 titles have remained underappreciated for years. Desert Falcon, an isometric shooter with an Egyptian theme. Desert Falcon appeared on the 2600, 7800, and XE home computer systems. Bob Palero, who had programmed the VCS version of Defender, also handled this 2600 version. This game is familiar to me, and I don't know if I had it or not, but I might have. You are a Royal Desert Falcon. Maybe. It's possible. The arcade-style flight shooter pits would-be treasure hunters against thematically ancient Egyptian guardians, such as vultures and scarabs. While it cannot compare visually to the 7800 version, Desert Falcon 2600 still delivers the core gameplay. Keep an eye on your bird's shadow to gauge your height. I will. I think I might have had this game. Get 3 Hyros. Am I, oh, there we go. Maybe? Maybe I did, but... Really weird to control up and... No. Pressing down makes you go up. Pressing up makes you go down. And I smashed into a obviously a big tower. Let's try that again. What is this thing? 50 points is what it is. Man, it's so hard to tell. Who's this guy? You just get this bullet out of the... Right. I'm not sure how I feel about Desert Falcon. It's really odd to control. That's probably good for Desert Pelican. Key art. This artwork was used for the cover image for the 2600, 7800, and Atari XE versions of Desert Falcon. It's pretty good. What's coming out of the Sphinx, though? Enemy airplanes. Typical Sphinx behavior. Double dunk. Sports remained an important genre for the Atari, even after the Real Sports brand was no longer in use. Double Dunk's 2-on-2 half-court presentation of basketball features relatively sophisticated elements such as play calling and three-point shots. It looks pretty good. One of the final few games produced for the 2600, 1989's Double Dunk represents a dramatic visual upgrade from the original basketball game released in 1978. It's a 2-on-2 half-court contest with true-to-life details like play calling, foul detection, shot clock violations, and 3-second lane violations. Many of these options can be toggled off if the player is not looking for a realistic simulation. There are no game variations. Does that mean this is 2-player only? Well, maybe not. Wait. I think I'm... Okay, it is 1 player. Is it? But it says no variations. Does that mean there's no 2-player? Has to be. You know, they've even managed to get a sort of round ball. It's not just square. It's pretty incredible. It takes a long time. I don't know what it is to get them to inbound the ball or whatever, throw the ball in. It seems to take forever. I don't have a point yet, by the way. There it is. What? At least it gives you a chance to have a sip of coffee as you would if you were a kid. Oh, I thought it was only giving me 1 point for a second, but it counted up to 2 for some reason. I imagine this line... I imagine there's 3-pointers. See if we can get a 3-pointer, maybe. He took the ball from me. I'm just. Can you not shoot from there? I tried to shoot from there, but he just took the ball from me. Clear the ball. Oh, yeah, you got to get back to the line. So it is like 2-on-2 playground jamming. Points, blocks, dunks. I guess it doesn't say there's 3-pointers, so maybe there isn't. All right. I mean, that's okay. I don't really know. You don't really know what's going on, but it's fine. It's okay. Super football. Super football can be seen as something of a missing link for the genre, as its isometric behind-the-team view would become the default for the console football games that followed in the 1990s. The fresh take was programmed by Doug Neubauer of Star Raiders fame. I see the art's a little... It's okay, but it's a little... You know. Developed by Star Raiders program Doug Neubauer, Super Football is a particularly impressive example of what developers could achieve after a decade of 2600 development. The smooth sprite animations and the player's perspective down the scrolling gridiron offered a clear direction to sports game developers of the 16-bit era. All right, let's see what this is like. Super Football. I guess I'm... I gotta kick it to them. Was that me? That might have been me. Oh, it was me. Oh, crap. Oh. All right. To him. Oh, come on, man. Where's the big throw? Where's the big throw? There it is. Oh, so am I kicking now? Or what's the story here? It's okay. It even changes perspective. Like the offense is always going up. Oh, it knows what to do. Was that 6 points? Are they going to kick an extra point? They are. Wow. This is a pretty impressive Atari 2600 game. I have to be honest about it. All right, that's me catching the kickoff. All right, now I understand. What if we just run it? Right? Because I got... I'm not sure where it says downs or anything. 24 yards. I'm on the 24-yard line. I'm thinking that's 8 to go. Maybe those... guys, I screwed up. I was looking at the... those little dashes next to the time might be the down marker. We'll have to see. if I just bring this guy in? Guy's in motion. Oh, he's just gonna go score. All right, well, that's fine, I guess. Another time with your update, Windows. Okay, that's football. I can't play a whole game of football, but you know, that's pretty impressive, honestly. One player novice, one player advanced, two player standard, two player advanced, two player expert. 15 minutes per quarter. You can play a whole thing. All right, pretty cool. Off the Wall. Off the Wall revisited Atari's classic Brick Breaker gameplay, adding human characters and power-ups. The Atari 2600 title bears no relation to Atari Games' arcade game of the same name, which appeared 2 years later. The basic formula of Breakout was still bearing fruit as late as 1989 with this Brick Breaker. Off the Wall adds 5 token power-ups as well as animated characters. The player controls Lou, who must smash through the wall of bricks and hit the dragon at the top of the screen. Oh. Get in there. Get up top. Get the dragon worm. Oh, I was watching the worm dragon. Oh boy. I screwed up. I screwed up because I had ooh. Got him. Did I get him? I think I got him, right? Oh, now I can control it. Got him again. Oh! This game feels alright, but it doesn't feel like the ball is not as... It doesn't feel like the ball is as reliable in the way, like, it impacts your... Like, it's easier to play with a like a line, you know, that like a paddle. Than it is this guy, because it's a bit weird as to where you need to hit it. Look at this bird. We're gonna get this bird. Oh, he's just blocking my ball. Does that give us points? Alright. Big problem with this game. I don't think you can get it up above the blocks and have it bounce at the top. Well, you kind of can. Can't really, though. Like, the black area is not... Yeah, see the way it's acting? It's just very weird. It's very... I don't know. now understand what the different power-ups are doing. Like, it's obviously affecting the ball in some way. All right. Well, that's off the wall. Off the wall. Original artwork. The paper sculpture became the cover art. Oh, this paper sculpture became the cover art for Off the Wall's retail box. Unfortunately, the artist is unknown. Huh. It's pretty nice, actually. Artist is unknown. Moto Rodeo. Offering a split-screen, two-player monster truck race, Moto Rodeo shows how far 2600 software development had come after 12 years. Created by Steve DeFrisco for the Nolan Bushnell-founded Axion, it's one of the last cartridges released for the Atari 2600. I played this before. Somewhere. I think on the other collections. Let's check it out. Yeah. This game's pretty cool, actually. Monster trucks come out to play in this two-player split-screen racer. Released in 1990 as one of the Atari 2600's final games, Moto Rodeo offers deceptively sophisticated gameplay as players navigate through obstacles like mud pits and ramps. Points are awarded for crushing cars, demolishing walls, and landing from huge ramp jumps with skillful accuracy. Developed by Axion, a company founded by Nolan Bushnell after he left Atari. All right. Computer tracks. Computer truck tires. Player. Blazer tires. Computer blazer track. Okay, so I have tires. The computer has tracks. Let's go. We'll go medium. Look at me. So now you can jump this, and you gotta like, what was that game with the motorcycle where you had to like physicsy keep yourself standing up? Yeah, anyway. You know the one. It's like that. Go through the water. Did a loop. Nope. No. It does take a little bit of getting used to. Whoops. Can knock these things over. I don't know what they are. Now, see, you're supposed to hit that, and then you can make it over the water. How come I can't get any of these points? There we go. There's some points. Stupid water. Oh, so you got to push down to use the cars as a ramp. Okay, gotcha. What? I don't understand these ramps switching direction. I guess you got to time it. Oh. Come on. Come on. don't know what the little green things are at the top there. It might be... Oh, no, it can't be any kind of a booster. I don't have another button. There's only one button. Oh, he got to the checkered flag. But it looks like it's just down to points and not who finishes first. Not that I'm going to get another 500 points or whatever. Oh. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm not that far behind. Oh, no, that's over. All right. Pretty good. I mean, the physics-ness of the whole thing is very... It's totally doable. Like, it doesn't feel crazy or anything. Like, it feels like you're under control. I mean, obviously, I'm not that great at it, but, you know, you could get good at this. That'd definitely be a fun two-player game as well. The cat is attacking a paper bag, by the way. So that's the noises that you hear. All right. What do we got here? From players to creators. For some Atari stalwarts, merely collecting the games they grew up with isn't enough. With curiosity and passion, a supportive homebrew community has kept Atari's flame burning through some of the company's less active years. Let's play this video.
So I started collecting on the 2600 when I was working at Looking Glass in Cambridge, Massachusetts, with Rex Bradford, who had actually worked for Activision and Parker Brothers back in the day. And that inspired me. It's like, you know, I should go pick up a 2600 and then start buying all those games I could never afford as a kid.
So I started looking on eBay to regain my old 2600 library, whatever. And in my searching, I found the Stella List. The Stella List was a collection of programmers that were interested in programming the VCS.
I think everybody who got into homebrew pretty early in the 2600 was a member of the Stella List, and that's where everybody shared their findings on the 2600. And of course, the original developer documentation that was at Atari was scanned and provided through the list. A lot of source code for demos, like audio demos, sprite demos, playfield demos, and all stuff, kind of passed through the Stella mailing list.
That was where all the activity was for development for a long time before forums really came along.
Ever I needed help or if I had a problem, the team on the Stella List were there to help me get past my problems.
And it was almost all just technical discussion on how to develop for the Atari 2600, you know, picking apart the machine and learning, you know, the internals, because the 2600 is a very arcane machine and difficult to develop for.
It feels like it took me a year just to understand how to get playfield graphics on the screen.
And there's always new people coming into the hobby wanting to learn how to program. So yeah, it's been amazing to watch, and there's just so much development, hardware and software, on all these platforms on Atari Age.
In my mind, 2600 programming is like as raw as it gets. It kind of shows people all your flaws, and so I'm really nervous about sharing things on the Atari Age forums. I have in the past, and I've received some great feedback. But ultimately, at the end of the day, for me, I feel so inadequate when I post things there because there's so many smart people. People who are way smarter than me, doing just incredible things. And I always feel like what I'm posting is just like a friend of mine used to say, it feels baby school.
But on the Atari Age forum, they have a 2600 programmer forum that you can go to. Yeah, anyone is willing to just jump in and help you.
There's a number of really talented programmers still doing wonders on the 2600.
That part of the Stella List lives on the Atari Age forum. Absolutely.
when we started Atari Age, back in 2000, we worked on 2000, opened it in 2001. Atari really wasn't paying attention to this growing community of people who are basically celebrating the brand.
I don't think there was any time during those years when homebrew really started to take off for the Atari consoles that Atari at that time felt in any way threatened.
I don't think they knew we existed. and I don't think they cared. I just don't think they cared.
I think most of the time they just kind of ignored it.
But Adventure 2, when it started out, was not endorsed by Atari in any way. And when they got wind of it, it came very close to shutting the project down. But they were able to work together, and now it is an IP that is approved by Atari, and now the community they can play it. I mean, it was a great piece of work.
At some point, you realize, well, Atari Age, costs money to run. It's running on like a dedicated server with the forum and the games database. We can, instead of having ads on the website, we can just start publishing games ourselves. So it just went really slowly first, and one of the first games was Mike Micah's Berserk voice enhanced.
And ultimately, it was the information I gathered from shared resources in the homebrew community that led me to adapt Berserk's voice.
And from there, it just kind of blossomed, and a small group of home developers, including Thomas Jentz, allowed me to start publishing their games in the Atari Age store.
Kurt Vendel was working with Atari and did the first flashback. It wasn't exactly what he envisioned, but it was the starting point. And that was his whole plan, as I understand it. It's like, let me get in the door with this, and then I can produce what I wanted. And that was the flashback too. In doing that and contracting with Atari, Kurt reached out to homebrew developers because he wanted to showcase, hey, not only do you have these classics here, but you have people that are still programming for this unit, and he wanted to show that. I was one of the homebrew developers that he reached out to. I'm honored that he reached out to me on that.
I had the fortune of knowing Kurt Vendel years and years ago. I met him at this trade show. Well, it was like a fan show called World of Atari, and it was in '98, I believe. And it was pretty clear he knew a lot about Atari. And not only that, he had a lot of ephemera from the old Atari days. And so we became fast friends. And a lot of the early Digital Eclipse projects that we worked on, Kurt helped us out, and he found the information we needed. He helped us figure out how things worked. He was an incredible hardware guy, incredible software guy, and he was so hell-bent on getting the story right. And so I give a lot of credit to Kurt for paving the way, for giving people the understanding of like where the real heroes were in those old days at Atari.
All right. Let's check out Adventure 2, which I have not played. Originally a homebrew sequel for the Atari 5200, Kurt Vendel created a 2600 version of Adventure 2 for the Flashback 2 in 2005. While the graphics remain comfortably familiar, the player's realm expands to the neighboring kingdoms of fire and ice to create a longer, more difficult quest. I imagine there's no official box art, or I don't know. Once again, you must dodge deadly dragons, retrieve the enchanted chalice, and return it to the castle. But this time you'll have to explore the deadly fire and ice kingdoms. This official sequel to the Atari 2600 Classic was created by Kurt Vendel in 2005 for the Atari Flashback 2 plug-and-play gaming console. Incorporating elements from the Atari 5200 homebrew game by Ron Lloyd. Oh, there I am. I'm a knight. Dragon. Oh, that guy's got the key. The bat has the key. I need the sword first. More than anything. I imagine that's the ice world? Ooh, there's the... Oh, that's my key. That's my sword. The bat has my sword. The bat has my sword. I got the sword now. Who's got your sword now? Can we use this to, oh, man. I was going to try to... Get out of here. Stupid bat. You big stupid? You're a big stupid. Is this going around in circles? I think so. Here's the yellow land. So this, you'd think this might be where the yellow castle is. And now my sword is stuck in the wall. No, I got it. Okay. Here's the bridge. Guy's got the... I mean, maybe you need the bridge to get to the castle. Drop thy sword. Here we go. This is a green key. Yeah, that guy's got a dragon. Oh. What do you think that is? Green key. Oh, this might be where the green... Get out of here! I hate this bat. I wish this bat would stop its tomfoolery. Maybe you need the bridge in this area. Because it just goes around in circles, doesn't it? Doesn't it go around in circles? The bat may show up with the green... There it is there. Where's the bat? Bring me the green key, bat. Oh, there's a dragon, though. Perhaps we can slay it. Oh. Man, he left the green key somewhere to pick up the dragon, though. Oh! You know, he's got my sword. Oh, my God. Everything was fine. I had the green key. I'd already opened the yellow castle. Life was good. And then a bat came with a dragon. And everything changed in a mere moment. He didn't kill me anyway. Well, did he? I've become a black dot. Was I always a black? No, I'm a yellow dot. Can't get me in here. Dee 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 dee. Whoa. Dee 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 dee. Da da dee 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 dee. I wish I had a sword. That'd be great. That'd be great. There it is. Give me that sword. Give me that sword. You want to go back, don't you? Isn't that how I got there before? You go back this way. And then you go down here and around here. And up here and around here. What? Oh, I got eaten. I became into the dragon. Ugh. Now we are slowly digested for thousands of years inside the dragon's belly. We can't escape. I'm here, like I'm here. I'm alive. But I can't get out. It's horrific, really. All right, that's Adventure 2. I mean, it's cool. Adventure was one of the big Atari games, Return to Haunted House. While this homebrew entry from Anthony Wong is clearly inspired by the 2600 game from 1982, on a technical level, it's actually a modification of Adventure's programming code. The result is an intriguing blend of both games, as players explore dark spaces and collect parts of a shattered urn within a linear quest structure. Hey, that's a nice picture. Homebrew programmer Anthony Wong created this game in 2005 to continue the legacy of the original Haunted House. Players must explore the ghost-riddled mansion of Zachary Graves. Only by finding Graves' skull and returning it to the underground crypt will the town of Spirit Bay be freed from its supernatural curse. All right, I'm not the eyeballs here. I'm the square from Adventure. Oh god. No. No. I'm stuck in the ghost. Can't go that way. Oh, there's a wall there, a line. I see the line now. What is this? What's this? Da-da everywhere. That ghost moves really fast, by the way. It's a bit ridiculous. Dee 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 da hey. La dee dee da da. Oh, look at that key. That key looks familiar. Whoa. I don't know if I want to be on that screen. That's a bad screen to be on. I'm going to get this key, though. No, I won't. There's a wall. The Grim Reaper got me. All right. That's Haunted House. Return to Haunted House. Searching for prototypes. For various business and creative reasons, some games that were once destined for store shelves simply disappear instead. When prototypes of unreleased games surface, fans like Atari Age's Albert Yaruso mobilize to preserve these often incomplete creative expressions and sometimes give them a second chance at success.
A lot of games were in development at Atari when the market crashed in '94, and a lot of them were done or very close to being done, and not just for the 2600, but also the 5200. A lot of these prototypes are being discovered during this time period, and there were various people who were, creating packaging for them that would be reminiscent of, hey, what if Atari published it? What if Fox published this game? What would it look like? And you'd have a line of people at the Classic Gaming Expo on Saturday or Sunday to get their copy of the game, and they would sell out back then. and they're $50, $60 a piece, but they look great. They look like this is what real sports basketball never released, but there's a really nice community produced reproduction of it. They come from all over. Sometimes they come from the original developers who were working at Atari, took copies of those with them, thankfully, before they were thrown out. And they were nice enough to they either sell them or loan them out so people can actually dump them and then preserve them indefinitely. And then Atari sent out a lot of lab loaner carts, basically like cartridges of games that were going to be released, like sending them to magazines in advance. Especially magazines back then had a really long lead time of months, so you'd want to get those games to the magazines so they could test them and then have an article ready, by the time the game comes out. So that's where a lot of the cartridges come from. They had a unique lab loaner label, returned to somebody at Atari with a name handwritten on the label. I'm sure you've seen them. Even now, there's still prototypes being unearthed, which is just remarkable. That so long, after all this time has passed, we're still finding new games that either we never knew about or knew about and just didn't think existed. But people are finding them still.
All right. On loan from Lab, erasable programmable lab loaner cartridges were used by Atari's engineering team to test games in development. EPROMs like this one were often loaned out to members of the press for preview or review coverage. Loaner cartridge. Aquaventure. Aquaventure's origins are murky. There's no official Atari record of the undersea action game, but the prototype has been traced back to 1983. Likely a victim of the game industry crash, it wouldn't see an official release until 2005 and was only issued on a cartridge by Atari in 2023. In this rare 1983 prototype, you must dive to the bottom of the ocean floor to collect treasure while dodging dangerous sea creatures and managing your oxygen supply. A victim of the 1983 industry crash, Aquaventure was completed but left unpublished for years. Mysteriously, it does not appear in Atari internal documents of the era. Atari officially released it in a 2600 cartridge in 2022. Whoa, 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 whoa. Here, hold on a sec. All right. Well, there was a bit of a remote emergency. All right. Coffee, good. Let's start. Here I am. Got that guy. Got that guy. That guy. That guy. Hold on. Yeah, the remote still works. That's good news. There's something moving around in there. I think it's okay. Oh, you can go down to the deep. Oh, get the treasure. Nope. No, I think a review of that footage will show that I actually shot that fish. His guts killed me. Why is there a turtle at the top? What is this? Mermaid? I'm not sure what you're like. Oh, I gotta go deeper. Can't touch the sides. Is the turtle my air? Like, you think it's my air gauge? I can't, it's starting again. This game has big score like a more modern game. A lot of Atari games, you know, you get like 10 points, 20 points. This one is big score. Put me in a wheelchair before I get to... hurry, hurry, hurry. These are seahorses? Oh, come on, I shot him. I shot him. I shot him. Dangerous. You have a dangerously big hitbox. Oh. That fish! It's hard. It's actually it's kind of difficult. One more time. One more time. One more time. One more time. Can you refill your air by going to the top? No. Okay. So it's just a timer, really. The air, I believe. It's hard to see your guy in this color background. Oh, that redfish was after me. But I said, "Nya. Nya." You are an engineer. Look how deep we got. Look how deep we got. That's how deep I like to go. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. Give me the twage. That fast. No. Just I wasted a whole life there. Stupid torpedo ship. Torpedo fish. I think you might get points. I don't know if it depends on what fish are left on the screen or what, or if you just get points for clearing the screen. But you do get points for leaving the screen and going to the next screen. So maybe, and the fish do blow up. So it could be that you get the points for whatever fish are on the screen when you leave it. What happens when this turtle gets all the way to the air? You just Okay, that game's cool. I like that game. Under the Sea, close inspection of the Aquaventure artwork, seen here on the poster included with the 2023 limited edition, suggests the game's underwater explorer is female. Female. I mean, it could be... Oh, I guess probably that is a woman, isn't it? Save Mary. The puzzle genre is underrepresented on the 2600, but Save Mary, originally developed by Todd Fry for Axlon in 1989, could have helped fill that void. The platform stacking rescue game remained unissued until Atari's Flashback 2 console in 2005. A limited edition physical cartridge of Save Mary quickly sold out in 2023. Of course, you had to buy two, right? You had to buy one to play and one to... I guess if you're a crazy person, you probably had that Flashback 2 thing, and then you just played it on there, and you just put this thing sealed on your shelf. Mary is unfortunately stranded at the bottom of a canyon that's filling with water. It's up to you to build her platform high enough for you to reach her with your crane and pull her to safety. Designed by Todd Fry, the creator of Sword Quest in 1990, this action puzzle game was not officially released until it appeared on the Atari Flashback 2 plug-and-play console in 2005. I thought it said... Yeah, this one says 89, and then this says 90. Either way. Save Mary. I'm going to grab this. Wait, what? Uh-huh. Okay. Oh, we got to get this thing? No? How? Oh, we got to hold the button. Gotcha. And then how do you move her? Oh, I see. Nope. That's not going to work. Can I smash her, though? Is she going to die? She won't die. She won't die. Help. What you want to do then is just kind of go like this. Oh, you can kill her. Oh, that's not good then. Well, you don't want that to happen. You don't want that to happen. That's not cool. What? What's this thing? Take that. What? No, I don't want an update another time. Jeez. It's twice now. Update another time. Fools. Oh, she could jump. Nice. Nice one, Mary. Don't jump onto the box. All right. All right. Okay. Good. Put me in a wheelchair before I blah blah. Hurry. Blah 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 blah. 5. It's 5. What's a 5? 1. You got a 1. Alright. I don't know what those did, but... Oh, she bumped her head. That's not my fault. That's not my fault. Take a good hard look, cause I'm sailing on a boat. And you pick these things up. Alright, I gotta know what these things do. Let me see the instruction manual here. What is the instruction manual? Gameplay. Power-ups. There are several power-ups that can help you save Mary as fast as possible. They appear on the cliff sides, and you need only pick them up and drop them in the middle of the canyon to activate them. They have several effects. They give you bonus points depending on the number shown. Gives you an extra life. Oil can allows your crane to move faster. Stop sign, the plug, it stops the water from... Okay, well, I don't really know what... It doesn't really show what they are. But... No, that wasn't good enough. I screwed up, though. Now she can't get... Oh, no, this is bad. Ugh. I can't do this. Now. Alright. You can really screw yourself, to be honest. You don't want to do that. You don't want to get it to where she can't... she can't jump to it. Because she automatically goes higher. And... That's the plug, right? That just stops the water from rising for a bit. Cause I'm sailing on a boat, on a boat. I'm on a boat, yeah. I need to get over to the edge somehow. That's my problem, isn't it? Okay. Oh, no way. She just more. She just like straight walked into my thing and killed herself. That's ridiculous. I'm flabbergasted right now. I'm beyond upset. I'm past the point of rational thinking. I'm on a boat, yeah. Don't do that. I almost killed her. D. This is how you build a. This is how you build a bridge. Come see. Oh, comme ça. You build a bridge, comme ça. What? You must be joking me. You have to be kidding me. What? All right, hold on. How come it doesn't, Why isn't it do? Why? Am I too much? What? I don't understand. Do I just have to put it down? Maybe I just got to put it down. What? I don't get it. I can't stack anymore on top. Is this the high as you can go? Oh, maybe it's as high as you can go. Well, how can it be as high as you can go? That can't be as high as you can go. Can I just stack one straight on top? No. Well, what are you supposed to do? Can you put one here? You can't put one here. What? Well, what would the strategy be? Because you can't... I guess I just went too straight. I don't think I can win this now. I just kill her. All right, that's interesting. Interesting. Cover artwork with low angle on the main character. Save Mary's box art adds even more drama. Yeah, look it up there. There's the crane. There's the box. There's the rising waters. It's all there. For the love of Atari, what makes Atari fans so passionate? People who have helped preserve and extend Atari's legacy discuss the love that lies beyond mere nostalgia.
When you think of the 80s and video games, Atari is the company that comes to mind. And because those people grew up with, there's a lot of nostalgia today still for the brand. And I think that's the main reason why you see people so passionate about Atari.
When we do our best, video games are an art form. What we're doing doesn't just distract people or pass the time. We leave them with something.
The brand was so iconic for so long that it feels like it was a part of their life, and that it felt like a part of their identity. So I think whenever Atari over the years has done something against those core values of what people have brought to Atari and how they feel they fit with Atari, that's why you'd see a lot of vocal retaliation to what Atari was doing, because it was so personal to them.
And Atari did a great job with marketing. They had a lot of the arcade hits, like Pac-Man and Defender, and just tons of arcade games that people wanted to play at home. And they just did a great job with marketing, getting the systems out there, and that's what people remember from those early days.
For me, it is the excitement that I had as a young teenager having the VCS. That excitement is still there for me. And you've heard this before. You never forget your first love. That would be the VCS for me.
I think video games are proving to be more and more like the music business. Whatever you heard at certain points in your life of music, that's the soundtrack for your life. And when you hear those songs when you were a kid or when you were a teen or when you were in college, it brings back those memories, and you're attached to that time and to that version of yourself, and the music takes you back there.
I think for a lot of people, it was the very first system that they had, especially for the 2600. And even then, the Pong systems that came before that, and Atari was active in arcades as well. I think the combination of the home consoles, arcades, and then computers, that kind of trifecta really kept Atari in everyone's minds, versus the other companies only had like a console, home console, and didn't do the other things.
I took my 8-bit 800XL with me to college, and that's what I wrote my reports on. Now, granted, everybody in the dorm down the hall heard it pecking on the 1027, but hey, I did my reports on it.
There were people who dedicated their lives to just making sure that an Atari 800 could stay working, and they would sell parts as cheap as they could to people to keep their machines working. And so for, I'd say, like 3 decades, basically you've had all these kind of like unknown people working behind the scenes just to keep Atari alive.
Millions of people grew up with these consoles. They enjoyed them. Their first interaction with video games for a lot of people, and computers. And Atari made a ton of great arcade games as well that are very memorable. So again, I think all of that just helped to keep the brand alive, even when Atari wasn't very active.
Ultimately, I think Atari, the name, was what survived, but not Atari, the game company. It was a different game company. It was really just Atari by name. And so we were left with a huge community of people who grew up with the Atari. It was a very personal thing for them that felt like they were being abandoned by the namesake in some ways. And so they were the ones who were the torchbearers. These are people who kept Atari alive.
I was in Europe, in Germany, and I was waiting for some friends, and all of a sudden this person comes walking by in a bright green, Kelly green shirt with a white Atari across it. And then later on, I was at the Gap store at Christmas time, and I saw a multicolored Atari T-shirt for children, and I said, well, I kind of chuckled to myself, and I said, Jesus, Atari is just not going to go away. And then, of course, I had to buy the shirt for my great nephew. So.
Of course, she's the lady that designed the logo, so it'd be pretty wild for her to see. Look at this guy. Even his gaming moves forever into the future. Atari and its fans will never forget his past. Here's to the artists, programmers, and players who have contributed to Atari's legacy. All right, and we got the first console war, so we're not done yet. When Intellivision challenged the Atari 2600's dominance, their battle set the stage for every historic gaming rivalry that followed. I wonder if we're going to get, I haven't looked in this, I wonder if we're going to get Intellivision games, because I'm pretty sure Atari did buy Intellivision. Whose side are you on? What if the company behind the Intellivision also created cartridges for the Atari 2600? The answer was M Network, and the story starts in the late 70s. Mattel Electronics, a successful toy manufacturer since the mid-1940s, Mattel expanded its handheld electronic games with Auto Race in 1976 and Football in 1977, which both became huge hits. The fledgling Mattel Electronics division looked for its next electronic success. That would be look at that game, man. Auto Race. Oh, you could change the gears. I guess you'd move your car left and right with that. Intelligent television. Atari's success with the VCS led Mattel to consider the potential of a TV-based gaming machine. However, the cutting edge in television would come from humble beginnings within the toy makers' halls.
After the success of the Atari VCS, Mattel, as a toy company, looked at this and said, maybe we should consider getting into this business.
They started their Mattel Electronics division releasing handheld games. Their handheld football, which was an LED game, was a smash hit.
Somebody had the idea that the TI, Texas Instruments calculator chip, could also be used for games. It worked in calculators, we could make a game out of it. That's where those handheld games came from.
When I first saw it, I'm like, how is this football? Because the field is only this big. How is this 100 yards? And then, of course, you play it and you realize you have to go multiple times to get a touchdown. But, oh, man, it was great.
The Atari VCS was being sold in toy stores. Mattel did not like giving up shelf space and consumer dollars in toy stores. And I think as much as anything, it's that sense of holding your position, holding market share in the toy industry. That plus the sense that there was a potential here, I think, is what drove the decision.
Mattel saw that Atari was making lots of money, hand over fist, making video games, and decided to make their own console, which they called the Intellivision.
They had an outside consulting group make a set of initial games for the machine for the play test.
They contracted with a company run by a man named Glenn Hightower to develop the system and develop cartridges for it. So he ran his company, APH Technology Consultants. Mattel found him and contracted him and his company to produce the system and the games. And in 1979, the end of 1979, they test marketed the Intellivision, and then it went full release in 1980.
They test marketed the Intellivision video game console in Fresno, California, and it tested out great. And this was late 1980, and that was when the radio ad got put on the radio. I was actually driving home from work one day, and I heard an ad on the radio, and the ad said, "Do you want to work in the exciting world of video games?" And I didn't know whether to look down at the radio or look up to God that I was being talked to it this way. And would you like to help shape the future of this exciting new entertainment medium? At first, they did not believe that I had been programming video games for 9 years. Eventually, they realized I was telling the truth, and I got hired as one of the original 5 in-house programmers at Mattel. So the original 5 team members at Intellivision on day one were Gabriel Baum, who was our manager, Mike Minkoff, John Soule, myself, Rick Levine. The consultants at APH who had been working on the test market games also continued to stay involved, and they also were working on games in parallel to us. But like modern video game companies, Mattel realized they wanted to control the development themselves, and that's why they built an in-house team. If you were a toy designer or you worked for the toy company, you turned left and you went into what was then a modern office tower. If you turned right, you went down into where we were, except that was a converted warehouse.
The entire video game division, we were in a separate building. And at lunchtime, we were allowed to walk down this middle corridor to the lunchroom, and everybody's doors in the toy company, all the doors were closed. And it was like, you're not allowed to go into any of those doors. It was very like secret. And then we would go and we'd have lunch, and then we would go back. And one day we're walking down that corridor, and some like little like motorized car was zooming around. It was like, oh, there's life, there's a toy, but it went through a door and it closed. And so we were outsiders.
Man, I want to see what all the new toys are. Tell me not to go in there because there's new toys. The Intellivision arrives after a successful test during the 1979 holiday season. The Intellivision rolled out nationwide in early 1980, offering 10 games and the promise of add-ons that would turn the console into a home computer. Mattel priced the machine at $299 US dollars, a full $100 more than the Atari VCS. I remember this thing. These controllers are awful. Playing and programming the Intellivision. Interacting with the VCS and the Intellivision felt as different to players as it did to its programmers. Both groups share their experiences here.
Atari developed this joystick, which is just a stick coming up, and you can move it with the Atari in 8 different directions: forward, backward, left, right, and then the 4 diagonals. And that controlled the object on the screen. Mattel decided to go better than that. Mattel controller is a rectangle with this disc on the bottom, a round disc, but 12 buttons over it. Anyway, what the disc was, you can press it in any of 16 directions, and that controlled what goes on the screen. If you're used to a joystick, it's difficult to work with.
I didn't like the controller. I didn't like the controller. I didn't like it.
I mean, a joystick with a button, that feels like a video game. This other one felt like an accounting package.
The Intellivision had the bad interface versus the joystick. Things like that were just things you would argue over all the time.
It felt maybe even like the games were very soft. They weren't edgy.
I'd say visually the Intellivision looked a lot better, but also the 2600, because of its requirement for drawing the screen, meant that every game had to run at 60 frames per second.
Like even today we had discussions like, can we get to 60 frames a second? And like every Atari game that exists is 60 frames a second, because if they didn't, they have to hit that or the screen won't draw, you know? So no Atari game has any sort of lag or anything because they had no option to have lag.
How many 2600 games were made? 600 in the original few years of the console? That was possible because The software controlled everything, and in the Intellivision, the hardware did what it could do and nothing else.
Out of all the systems I've worked on, the one actually that kind of bested me was the Intellivision, because it's such a unique architecture.
The instruction set for the Intellivision was not an 8-bit instruction set. General Instruments made it 10 bits wide. So when we wrote instructions, we had more opportunities, more things we could do in assembly language because it was 10 bits wide. Basically, it just means we had a book with more pages listing the dictionary of what we could do.
You hear stories about how some engineers just couldn't quite get the Intellivision to do what they wanted. And the reason some of the games are slower is because that understanding of that architecture is very challenging. So games could run really fast on the Intellivision. You just had to do it a certain way. And most people tried to approach programming the Intellivision like they would the Atari 2600 or an old 8-bit computer. They thought that's the way you should do it. But in fact, the Intellivision has a very specific way you should be creating games for it.
So it was made with newer technology. And with that technology, they were capable of making more resolution of backgrounds, more colors, not necessarily better colors, but more sprites. I think they could put 8 sprites on the screen.
The Intellivision itself, because they started work on it about 2 years after Atari had started work on the VCS, it had more advanced chips. And so where the Atari was using a 6502 chip, which is a very basic and because of its simplicity, a powerful chip for its time. We were using a GI 1610 chip, which had 16-bit logic in it as opposed to 8-bit. Everybody says, oh, 8-bit, 16-bit. Well, Intellivision was kind of 3 different kinds of bits. We were very confusing.
The thing is, once we programmers started doing tricks and making the Atari 2600 do things that it was not supposed to do, we ended up with more sprites than the Intellivision. I did a game called Freeway, and Freeway had 10 moving sprites on the screen.
In many cases, a lot of engineers that were on the Atari went to Intellivision and vice versa. And then many engineers that went out to third parties like Activision and whatnot would end up working on multiple platforms. So they'd work on Intellivision and Atari.
I mean, I was at a CES one day showing Pitfall, and the Intellivision programming crew came around. I remember just kind of standing behind them, and they were saying, how do you make a swinging vine that would use all 8 of our sprites? There would be nothing left for Pitfall Harry. And so the swinging vine is a trick. It's a programming trick. And without it, Pitfall doesn't exist.
All the companies in the Bay Area particularly that were working on Atari and Intellivision games were told not to intermingle, not to hang out with people from the other companies because of company secrets being let loose, and nobody wants anybody to know what everybody else is working on.
But occasionally, programmers would run into each other in the mall, and one of them would say, I finally figured out how you did that thing, or whatever. So there was a little bit of interconnection.
But then hearing that they would all get together for beers at people's houses and play the games they're working on with everybody. And so it was like completely opposite of what they were asked to do. But it was a way for them all to keep sane and also to help each other out. Because once everybody was able to share what they had, even though they weren't supposed to, it really helped everybody understand like how they could improve their games and all stuff with all these great designers in the area.
The revolution will be advertised in television, TV commercials, and print ads. Was there anything? No. Featuring sports writer George Plimpton, targeted the weakest points of the Atari VCS with remarkable candor. The ads would set the tone for the first console war.
I'll try almost anything. So when Mattel Electronics asked me to compare their Intellivision games with Atari, I gave it a try.
Mattel started making these commercials with George Plimpton, comparing the two systems.
He was a writer who was brought in as the spokesperson for Intellivision. He would prop up a 2600 game against an Intellivision game and just ask you, basically ask you to tell the difference.
And I think the commercials played that up. As you said, the commercials, implied you were high and mighty if you could afford a Intellivision and you weren't stuck down in the, dregs with your Atari machine.
As a generation of kids and adults were told every night on television by all...
Okay, I just have to point out, I can't stop looking at this guy's mouth. It's driving me crazy. it moves in weird ways, like some sort of it's some sort of puppet mouth or anime mouth, and it's kind of driving me nuts. But I just have to say that.
In television ads, it was a clearly superior video game console.
And so you'd see this like really amazing baseball game on the Intellivision that like in our eyes back then looked like real baseball, and then you see like some blocks over on the 2600 and weird sounds coming out, and baseball talks on the Intellivision. 2600 makes beeps and that sort of thing. So they would beg you to like compare it yourself and make the decision.
I compared Atari baseball with Intellivision and found Intellivision played much more like real baseball.
Where the Intellivision, which cost $100 more than the VCS, where it excelled was in the sports games and great graphics.
Our rival television commercials for Intellivision and Atari ran each night, and inside the company we were tracking sales to see how we were doing, and it was very much competition. And of course we wanted to beat them.
Then they showed the two football games, and the Atari football I've always hated. It doesn't resemble football at all, where the Intellivision version resembles football.
Then I compared Atari football with Intellivision. Again, Intellivision played more like the real game.
The famous Atari game football was like 3-on-3 or 4-on-4, and that was a travesty to football fans. So the Intellivision felt, hey, we can at least, here's a baseball game, you got all the people on the field. Here's a football game, you have a bigger team.
Our emphasis on sports at Intellivision was just recognizing that those were the games that we were doing that people were most responding to. Most of our best sellers were our sports games, and that was the place where we were clearly beating Atari in the marketplace in terms of people's perceptions.
In my opinion, if you try them both, there's only one conclusion you can come to. Intellivision from Mattel Electronics.
The problem was they didn't have any arcade games. And Atari, being an arcade company, excelled in arcade games. And another problem with the Intellivision was it was a slower system than the VCS because it sacrificed memory for graphics rather than for speed. And so Atari retaliated with their own commercial showing this nerdy-looking kid and saying, well, here's Atari's arcade games, and here's Mattel's arcade games, and there are no Mattel arcade games.
As an intelligent consumer, I wanted to compare Atari Asteroids with other companies' Asteroids. But other companies don't make Asteroids.
Atari had coin-op games that had great brands that people already knew, and that they could bring those into their home operation. We didn't have that at Mattel. And so we ended up licensing with Data East. But even then, we were doing more games that were derivative or copy type, just to try and keep pace with Atari.
I wanted to compare Atari Missile Command with other companies' Missile Commands, but other companies don't make that either.
Well, it probably didn't help that Intellivision came from a toy company. There's an aura there of softness, and Atari was, video gaming.
But ultimately, when you played the games, you could really tell the difference then, because the Intellivision, the way it presented graphics, the frame rate was pretty slow. It was pretty plodding, and the 2600 had this really fast frame rate. So games that were like shooters, racing games, all that stuff on the 2600 felt great, but they looked really nice on the Intellivision.
When it comes to the video games the world wants most, nobody compares to Atari.
So in a normal world, the Intellivision would have come along and blown the Atari out of the water because it seemed to have 4 times as much capability. That wasn't the reality. That was only the anticipation.
Despite all the TV commercials that Mattel ran every night for years saying how we were better, we never caught Atari in video game sales because of that price difference.
All right. I'll try almost anything. George Plimpton exuded the air of a New England socialite. Refined, intellectual, logical. His straightforward compare for yourself pitch in Mattel's TV ads help position Intellivision as not only an educated choice, but an obvious one.
I'll try almost anything. So when Mattel Electronics asked me to compare their Intellivision games with Atari, I gave it a try. I compared Atari baseball with Intellivision and found Intellivision played much more like real baseball. Then I compared Atari football with Intellivision. Again, Intellivision played more like the real game. In my opinion, if you try them both, there's only one conclusion you can come to. Intellivision from Mattel Electronics.
An English guy getting into American sports. Oh, here's the other kid, too. Nobody compares to Atari. Atari's response to Intellivision's swipes of superiority was to have an intelligent consumer point out the 2600 offered the arcade hits that the Intellivision lacked.
As an intelligent consumer, I wanted to compare Atari asteroids with other companies' asteroids. But other companies don't make asteroids. I wanted to compare Atari Missile Command with other companies' missile commands. But other companies don't make that either. Finally, I wanted to compare the new Atari Warlords. Unfortunately, other companies don't make it. When it comes to the video games the world wants most, nobody compares to Atari.
Well, I'm convinced. Two pictures. Once you compare the two systems for challenge, sophistication, and continued interest, said sports journalist and Mattel spokesman George Plimpton. Plimpton, I'm confident you'll choose Intellivision. Atari versus Television. Nothing I could say would be more persuasive than what your own two eyes will tell you, but I can't resist telling you more. Atari Casino, no dealer. Oh, look at that. Television, Las Vegas Poker, and Blackjack. You play cards with a shifty-eyed dealer. Look at that. Like directly comparing the little characters and stuff. There's Atari Golf. Television PGA. I mean, you know, these could sell you. I'll be honest. Would sell me. I'd be into it. See the difference. This 1982 ad draws on sports fan survey data and independent praise to further one of the campaign's core messages. Our sophistication makes the games more challenging. Yeah, again, football, baseball. Look at that. 2% preferred Atari. Yeah, there's 88 and 2 gives me 90. All right. I guess 10% didn't know. They didn't have a preference. IntelliVoice. Mattel's IntelliVoice speech peripheral debuted in 1982 at $100, but failed to catch on with games. This ad's mention of Night Stalker with its relentless one-eyed robot was likely added to reference the famous voice-enabled arcade game Berserk. However, only 5 games supported IntelliVoice, and Night Stalker was not one of them. I want to see Night Stalker. So they say Night Stalker came out, but just didn't support the voice. M Network. It may seem unfathomable to modern gamers, but in 1982, the manufacturer of Intellivision designed and sold games for its biggest rival, Atari 2600. Was the M Network initiative a cunning business decision or a simple sign of surrender?
Mattel Electronics had no interest in making cartridges for the Atari 2600. What happened was this Glenn Hightower, who made the original cartridges for the Intellivision, he realized he got a bad deal out of it. Whatever games they sold to Mattel, they would get $30,000. Meanwhile, Mattel would turn around and sell like 50,000 copies of the games for a huge amount of money. And so he decided, well, why I should get in on this side. So he had his people reverse engineer the Atari 2600. They started making Atari versions of the Intellivision games.
So I remember when we were in the meeting where we were being told we were going to do this as a company, and we weren't asked, we were told.
It is hard to join a business that there's already 600 products.
Right.
And you're going to try to duplicate
and make a
one
mark.
of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty hard.
Most of the executives there didn't want to do it. They said, why should we sell games for a competing system? Also, they're worried that people will look down on them, like, they're jumping on the bandwagon for another company. And then Hightower convinced them there's 10 million Atari VCSs out there. There's 2 million Intellivisions out there. So instead of selling games just for 2 million consoles, you could sell games for potentially 12 million consoles. And Mattel liked that idea, and that's why they went with it.
Once video games really started to take off and become this big boom, we had all of these copycat companies trying to come in from the outside, apart from Atari, Mattel, Activision.
The other thing that's got me staring at this guy is he's got like hairs on his sweater, but I don't know where they came from.
And everybody was trying to start a video game company. So you had Games by Apollo, which some investors started up. You had the Quaker Oats video game division. And I say that and people think, oh, Don's joking. No, there really was a Quaker Oats video game division. When you have all that kind of stuff going on and people trying to build games for Intellivision and for Atari, at a certain point, I think both companies decided, I don't know who went first or who influenced, well, we should probably be making games for each other because it's now at the point. We make games.
Mattel wants to make Atari games. Everybody has an Atari. We want to sell games. That was what they told us. Atari's everywhere, so let's make games that people will buy because of that.
As the teams evolved and kind of subdivided, one of the factors was those who had experience on 6502, which was quite a few of our programmers at that point. They tended to migrate more towards the VCS, and those who did not certainly were staying on Intellivision.
And I was hired just to do the VCS, nothing else, because I had learned machine language, in college. And the VCS runs on machine language.
Some folks just loved the Intellivision and didn't want to go anywhere. For other people, it was kind of like, oh, we get to go head-to-head with Atari? That would be fun.
There was that added art part, too, of let's be a step above. There was definitely that concept of we're going to be above Astro Smash or whatever those other things are. We're going to be special, high society Atari.
We as a whole, as a group, both M Network and Intellivision, felt like we had really good artists. So when I think about that, what Jane is saying rings true. We were good at combining artists and programmers in a way that brought the best out in both the programmers and the artists.
I was the only woman programmer in the whole group of M Network. I was kind of unaware of how unusual it was. So we were just like a bunch of people, and we all cared about video games and the problems of the VCS and conquering it, and we would share, oh crap, my cycles went too long. I mean, it was a team thing.
Somebody told me, you know that company M Network at CES? That's Mattel. And I said, I don't think so. It doesn't make any sense. And then I found out it was. And I said, oh, okay, so they're giving up.
It was called this magazine. It was Electronic Games. But they had this rumor page, and they talked about how Mattel was going to start making games for the Atari 2600. I couldn't get to my friend's house fast enough to be like, victory. Like, there's no way Atari would make games for the Mattel Intellivision, which they would later.
Atari did the same thing. They made games for the Intellivision under the Atari Soft label and other systems too. So there was definitely a lot of back and forth with all these companies once they started cross-selling games across platforms.
But at the time, they were the first to concede, and so I was very excited, not because I wanted the games, which I kind of did, but because I could actually claim victory over my friends that Mattel has to make Atari games to succeed in the game business.
It was just another revenue stream. It was another revenue stream. And it was it was a good thing for gamers because you could play the games on whichever system you chose.
A lot of their library was based on Intellivision games, and the Intellivision was a pretty capable console. Visually it looked different from the 2600, but a lot of the games had a lot of depth to them.
The cartridge shape was basically the Intellivision cartridge, but then they had this 2600 weird adapter they plugged into it at the bottom. And so they didn't bother. They could have, if you think about it, the tooling for the adapter was probably more than enough to make an actual cartridge case. But the defiance to be like, no, we're going to make a real Intellivision cartridge and make it look and be evocative of Intellivision, even though they're using it on a 2600, I thought was a really interesting approach for them.
When I heard they were coming out with Atari games, I was in the camp that, they know that that's the market leader. We might as well jump on the bandwagon. And there were so many. There must have been at least 2-3 dozen companies at that time producing games for the 2600. So what's another one?
The sports games were fantastic from M Network, and I remember really liking Star Strike on the Intellivision because it felt like the sequence from Star Wars were going to the trench, and that was coming to the 2600. So secretly, I was super excited that I was going to start getting these Intellivision games on the Atari 2600.
The hype Intel games like Astro Smash, which became Astro Blast, I like that game. And I think it was better to play on the Atari with the joystick than it was to play on the Intellivision with the disc.
One game I played a lot of, probably more than any others, and it's a weird outlier, is Frogs and Flies, which is a port of Frog Bog. Dark Cavern, a good version of Night Stalker, which should have been my favorite. It's one of my favorites, but it was Frogs and Flies. I played a hell of a lot of Frogs and Flies.
They run the gamut as far as being good and bad, but a lot of them are based on Intellivision titles that didn't already exist on the 2600. So I think it's great that they did that.
They pushed the limits of the Atari 2600. So games like Bump and Jump or Air Raiders or even like their football and baseball games, they were pretty impressive games. They looked really close to their Intellivision counterparts, but also had their own unique look, and they had no compromises. So for a company to kind of come in and just try to cash in on the Atari craze, that isn't what it felt like. It actually felt like they were coming in here to make a difference and make really good, solid Atari 2600 games.
So I like to think that we raised the bar. And then maybe others came along and did way better. Who knows? But we cracked it. We said, hey, you don't have to do the old hat stuff. You can play with it like it's an instrument. You can pluck the strings different ways.
All right, so I definitely had some of those games. Astro Smash for sure. I had Astro Smash. I'll be the judge of that. Mattel's challenge to let players decide for themselves as to whose games were superior extended to M Network, as this promotional button illustrates. Unscramble and win. This deluxe fold-out advertisement not only offered its readers a puzzle to pique their curiosity, but included a chance to win an entire library of M Network games. If you can figure out the word jumble above the Atari VCS unit says, but we don't have to say much more. What? The word jumble. The word jumble. Some things up there to put. I guess they're talking about up there. You probably got to unscramble and figure out the names of the games or whatever. A surprising effect. This advertisement makes it clear that M Network intended to raise the visual bar of the 2600. Our graphics don't move; they perform. Sales to astonish. With its simple colors, bold fonts, and word balloon, this M Network advertisement was designed to appear in early 1980s comic books. Oh, yeah. That looked good in a comic book. These video games are so exciting. Amazing new life forms are taking over Atari. Look at them all. Football, baseball, Astro Blast, something. A familiar cartridge. While the M Network cartridge casing was based on the same ones used for Intellivision software, none of the M Network games share the title with their Intellivision inspiration. M Network games. M Network cartridges started appearing in stores in late summer 1982, facing a crowded market. Developers attempted to set a high standard for 2600 software with a lineup of visually striking titles and diverse gameplay. Oh, here's Astroblast. Asteroids and Space Invaders were both massive hits, and Intellivision's Astro Smash combined elements of both. The M Network adaptation, Astroblast, benefited from the Atari's more responsive joystick controller, but could also be played with paddles. Oh, yeah, I had this one for sure. A fast-paced space shooter, Astroblast was an unusual 2600 game since it could be played with either the joystick or paddle controllers. For rapid fire, hold down the button, then just focus on hitting targets and avoiding the space rocks as they split into smaller, deadly projectiles. Yeah, you lose points if they hit the... You lose points if they hit the ground, I think. Yeah. So you're constantly trying to not lose points. And I'm dead. This doesn't feel good with this controller, though. I think this would feel better with a with the paddle. Hold on a sec. I gotta tell Windows another time. Busy Windows. Do I have 7 lives? Hard games are hard, man. Gotta get 1,000 points. Gotta break 1,000. So you got to be aggressive. That's the thing. Because losing points makes you be aggressive. Because if you just dodge everything, then they're just going to hit the ground and you're going to lose all your points. No. No, 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 no. No way. Oh, we're so close to 1,000 now. Oh, see that? It changed color because we get 1,000. That was a fastie. Man, we're losing the points. Losing points. Turn blue. Like when you were a kid, this was a big, like it was just big. It was a big deal just for the screen to change color. You'd be like, oh, blue. Oh, it's over. 12:05. All right, it's a pretty good score. I like that game. I had that game as a kid. I definitely had that one. Star Strike, one of the few games to share its name with its Intellivision inspiration. Star Strike's gameplay, in which players try to bomb targets while piloting a speeding starfighter down a narrow trench, recalls the ending scene of Star Wars. If players fail, they'll see the alien superweapon launched at nearby planet Earth. Pilot your starship down the trench of an alien space station and knock out enemy silos in this fast-paced blaster. Unlike other games, you only have one life, so avoid crashing. So to avoid crashing, keep an eye on your spaceship's shadow. Oh, you can only bomb, alright. What? Not Earth. All right, let me see if I can. Let me see if I can have a non-foolish attempt. So how do you? You can just go up and down. Oh, I see. What? I think, like, above the horizon line, you shoot forward, and below the horizon line, you bomb, I think is what's going on here. Yeah, see? And now I'm down here, now I bomb. All right. Yes. So now you gotta... Does that mean something's come up? I missed it. Why is my ship doing this? My ship is out of control. My ship... I can't control my ship. Alright, something was up there. So I think... It like reverses your control. That like reverses your controls or something. Got it. Got hit with a stupid control reverser. Got him. No score, though. Oh, I missed the ball. I missed that thing, whatever that was. Got it, though. I think I got that. Sometimes you just can't move left and right or something. I don't know. It's really weird. I feel like I couldn't move there. That's pretty good, though. But how are you supposed to know how you, like, what you're... I don't understand how you're supposed to know what... like, how good you're doing. How well you're doing with no score. All right. Interesting. I noticed they don't have like a lot of game modes like the Atari ones do. Armor Ambush, based on Armor Battle from the Intellivision, looks and plays like a faster version of Atari's own Combat, which was itself based on Atari's arcade game Tank. Designed for 2 players, Armor Ambush features more varied terrain than Combat and the ability to swap between 2 tanks during play. This sounds familiar, like I might have had this one too. 2 players face off in military combat with 2 tanks per player on the battlefield. Switching between them is part of Armor Ambush's strategic challenge. Note that tanks move faster on roads, but slower through groves and trees and bodies of water. Or maybe I didn't have... Maybe I played the Intellivision version of this or something. So how do you... you press down to switch. This is 2-player only, by the way. So... I don't think this guy's going to put up much of a fight. But we can just kind of get up to him here and... some auto aim here. It looks familiar to me. This might have been something I played on the Intellivision. Because like I said, I did have a friend who had one. And I had a friend who had an Intellivision and a ColecoVision. Whether it was the same guy or there were 2 different guys, I don't know. It's a pretty good explosion. Okay. Well, no single player on that, so. Dark Cavern, a 2600 version of Intellivision's Night Stalker. Dark Cavern traps players on a single-screen maze with only limited ammunition to destroy the robot enemies. Crafty players discovered that lingering in the spawn area would keep them safe, an unofficial pause mode from when a gamer needed a brief break. It's zap or be zapped in this maze game filled with spiders, deadly robots, and ammunition-stealing blobs. There's no way out of this maze, so your only goal is to blast as many enemies as you can before your lives run out. Let me get this gun. Okay, I can't leave. Okay, you also can't... Okay, you can't stop. If you press down, you just keep going down. So, you have to... What? Oh, you can't... He didn't... Did he... Is it just that he took one more... an extra hit or something? Are they talking about chilling in here? Oh. I don't think you can now, but maybe they're talking about when you first spawn. You can stay there. You ever move on to a different stage though, or is it just this stage? Bulleted. I like the you know, you got some lighter colors on the edges to kind of give it a more of a... less of a flat look. I like that. I saw that in the basketball game. where they had almost a round basketball. Man, those guys, they take 2 hits. All out of men's. All right, well, we got an even 10,000 points. That's probably not. It's probably unbeatable, honestly. Frogs and Flies. Some M Network games earned cult followings for being simply unlike other 2600 offerings. Frogs and Flies delivers exactly what the title promises, an insect-eating competition between 2 players, leaping between lily pads. Like it's a television inspiration, Frog Bog, the sky darkens as the day progresses to a game-ending night. All right, this is going to be another 2-player only game, though. For 1 or 2 players, okay. All right. Day and night action. Play. No game variations for this game. How do you... A pair of frogs leap between lily pads in a contest to catch the most flies. The surprisingly addictive 2-player contest ends when the sky turns dark and the day in the swamp ends. When set to the higher difficulty levels, you have finer control over the angle of your frog's jumps. I don't understand how you... There's no game variations in this. For 1 or 2 players. The game. With your TV set turned on, switch on the console and press reset. Swamp scene will appear. Press red button on either joystick. As the action starts, different color frogs sit on side by side lily pads. Use the joystick to make a frog jump and catch the fly. 2 points for each catch. In a 2-player game, both players do not have to play at the same difficulty. Huh. I don't understand how you... Like, am I just trying to get my high score then, and he just sits there? Oh no, he's jumping. He's trying. Oh, this is pretty good. Oh, I almost had a double there. 16-0. This guy's an idiot. This guy's a real loser. What a maroon. It's very touchy to jump back and forth. I don't like the way this guy's catching up, though. What? Get out of here. Yes. Come on. Do it. Do it. Do it. Yeah. Give me that. Give me that. Oh. It's tense. It's a tense battle in the swamp. I didn't get that guy? Oh, he turned direction. That's it. I win 30 to 18. The end. Nice. I'm going to leave it on this calming the end screen while I use the facilities number right back. All right. We win. I win. I saved the game by accident, but... Air Raiders. Flight simulators weren't common in 1982, so the original title, Air Raiders, was an unusual sight on the 2600. Players must successfully take off from the runway to engage in dogfights, but can land to refuel and restock ammo after 10 enemies have been downed. I'm skeptical of this one. A rare hybrid of target shooter and flight simulator for the Atari 2600, Air Raiders challenges players to take off and periodically land their plane between dogfights. In fact, you can only land and refuel once you've downed 10 enemies. I'm playing. I'm dead? All right, okay. Gotcha. Who's firing at me? I don't understand what all that is. I have no ammo. So what do I do? Because I'm dead. I don't know. What do you do when you have no ammo? Because you can't. You need 10. You have to kill 10 enemies before you can get more ammo, I think. Oh. All right. You know, it's hard to tell what's like damaging me. I got 10 hits. No, no! Oh, somehow I hit the ground? I don't understand this game. All right, it's all right. Pretty impressive, graphically. Super Challenge Football. Sports games were key to Intellivision's sales campaign. So seeing a 2600 adaptation of NFL football without the pro license was a welcome sight to Gridiron fans. Aside from a lack of kicking plays, the game delivers a robust simulation for 2 players. Oh, for 2 players. I will just take a quick look at it then. 2 players hit the gridiron in this 5-on-5 side-scrolling interpretation of American football. While it offers detailed play calling for aficionados of the sport, players will also find they can employ some extremely unrealistic strategies. Running in the opposite direction will cause a defender to reappear on the other side of the field and let them catch the ball carrier. That's very... Imagine this is the kickoff. Does he have to, like, set his guys? I can't even hike the ball because he has to set his guys. All right. Well, it's fine. Super Challenge Baseball. David Rolfe programmed both Intellivision's Major League Baseball and its M Network adaptation, albeit without the license. Like Super Challenge Baseball, it's designed for 2 human players only, but is sophisticated enough to offer different pitches, triple plays, and extra innings. Triple plays and extra innings. Oh man, this would have been the one. This would have been the one. The shortstop might be missing from this game of America's pastime, but it's still one of the most advanced baseball simulations on the 2600. With a little practice, players can choose their pitch, switch between fielders, and control base runners, all with one button. All right. Am I pitching? See, it doesn't... We're not going to be able to get out of an inning here because... I can't... Oh, he's pitching. That's why. All right, well, that was good. All right, good times. International soccer. While other M Network sports games aspire to realism, many rules been Many rules been omitted from international soccer in pursuit of fast-paced fun. That's weird. That's not quite right. 2 players are required, but the computer will move 3 teammates on both offense and defense, while the humans focus on controlling just one. All right, so another 2-player only game. A smoothly scrolling playfield is the hallmark of international soccer, which delivers a fast-paced, arcade-style interpretation of the sport. To keep play brisk, the borders of the field will bounce the ball back into play. While there's no single-player mode, the computer will take limited control over 3 of the 4 players on the team. We at least got to get a goal here. I mean, playing against no one. Oh! There's nobody in the... Where'd the ball go? Got it. Is this 42 real minutes? It's no way this is 42 real minutes, right? We'll never know because I can't. Okay. The Lost Library. M Network published 17 cartridges, with another 19 in various stages of development before Mattel Electronics' closure. Fans and historians have done their best to preserve screens, playable code, and memories of these unreleased games. Ant Bear. Never officially released, Ant Bear makes its debut here for the first time. As the Ant Bear, the object of the game is to your tongue to collect as many insects as possible before the time or chances runs out. The deeper you venture underground, the riskier it gets. If you don't get your tongue out of the way fast enough, it's game over. Ant Bear tasks players with carefully navigating an anthill with a very long tongue, grabbing insects for points. Hold the fire button to quickly retract your tongue and avoid enemies. This sounds familiar, though. Like, was this maybe in a television game, too? Whoa. I'm trying to retract my tongue. Oh, you don't want to eat the... Okay, you have to eat the ants. Oh, I retracted. Got him. Got him. It's a bit touchy to get hit to go up and down these holes. Also, is the score working? It's not really? Are those numbers? 1100? Is that what it's showing? $1,200. I guess it's numbers, but it's really bad. Are these worth more down here? Oh, you can't even get hit on the... You have to... The tip of the tongue only. It's the tip of the tongue only. Oh, you can eat those guys too? I didn't know. I thought you could only eat the ants. Wait, what? What happened there? Je suis not understand. Can I just not eat this guy? No. Can you eat him from behind? Maybe you have to eat him from behind. Wait, what? He's leaving. He's just leaving. He's had enough. You can get a new aardvark if you want. Here's one. Nope. He's gone. All right. Ant Bear. In search of the golden skull, programmer Jerry... Did I zoom in on this? Yeah. What? In search of the golden skull, programmer Jerry Lawson, who designed Fairchild's Channel F console, also created this treasure hunt adventure game that was never finished. Its large ROM and RAM requirements would have made it expensive to produce. Oh, look how nice it is. Sea Battle. A favorite of Intellivision players, Sea Battle needed to be simplified for its 2600 debut in both gameplay, depth, and visuals, but still offers a strategic naval challenge for 2 players. It remained unpublished until 2000 and then only in limited quantities. This strategy game... Let's zoom in on the thing first. Sea Battle. This strategy game pits 2 rival naval commanders against each other in open waters, each in control of a navy of 12 ships. Different vessels feature different weaponry and capabilities, but there's no retreating. Every conflict resolves with someone's ship being sunk. 2 players only? I might have played this on a television too. Where am I? How do you make a ship happen? Oh, I'm a little dot here. I'm not sure what I'm... All right, well, that's Sea Battle. I'm sure it's amazing. Sword Fight. The glowing weapon suggests Steve Tatsumi took at least some inspiration for his tactical combat game from science fiction films. Unfortunately, Sword Fight's 2-player nature caused it to remain unreleased, save for a limited production run in 2000. For 2 players, a battle of blades. 2 futuristic knights face off in a battle of blades in this head-to-head fighting game. Each player has 3 offensive and 3 defensive moves. When a fighter takes a hit, a layer of their platform is removed. Man, well, this is definitely different, but I have no way to... Like, this guy has to draw his lightsaber. I can't even swing my lightsaber until he draws his lightsaber, because it would be unsportsmanlike. They're not even the same sprite. They're different left and right. Oh, it's sword fight. Tower of Mystery. Tower of Mystery, based on Dungeons and Dragons, was created by Jane Turjung, then modified by Mike Sanders. This prototype includes a special setting that limits the game to only 4 levels. It is believed this was created for demo use only at the January 1984 Consumer Electronics Show. Magical objects aid players as they battle fantasy monsters in this early action RPG. This recently rescued one-player prototype uses 2 joysticks, one for player control and the other for consulting the map and the current status of the quest. Well, certainly I don't have to have 2 joysticks, right? I can just use the right and left stick. Certainly that is the case. Certainly that must be the case. Welcome to the Tower of Mystery. What be thy name? It's just, all right. Good luck on thy journey, eh? I got a shield. Okay. I got a sword. Dancing sword. Dancing sword. What do you do with the... Wait, can I fight? Oh, did I drop it? Ugh. Oh, you have to press... Oh, wait, hold on a sec here. Wait. That's weird. It's not 2 sticks. You have to press left and right and A. It looks like A, you may use it, and then left and right switches between it. Up just drops it. So I've lost the hat now. I don't have the hat anymore. Can't pick up the box. The box needs something. The door is locked. How do you escape this dungeon of death? Staircase. Oh, look at that. Whoa. Treasure. Treasure. I wish I still had my sword. I wish I still had my sword. Oh, what's this? You have some delicious soup. I can't... Oh, okay, now I'm super fast. Because I have the shoes on. Look at that. Boots of speed. I don't know what that was. I don't know what that is. None of those things are showing up in my inventory. Let's see all this stuff here. Hold on. Chest, bag, bluish scroll, necklace, coins, book. All right. Hat of vision, chalice, key, wings, arrow, quiver. I can't believe I threw away the sword, though. Where's the sword? Dancing sword, and I threw it away. And I had a shield, too. Huh. There's nothing else in this level. We have to go. Oh, shield again. How come... Candle. How come I can't pick up the shield? That's weird. What? Those are my stats. Look at that. Level 3. Aga has 1. All right. I won't pretend to understand what's going on, but Seems interesting. Sounds like there's only four. Sounds like there's only four. The prototype includes a special setting that limits the game to 4 levels. Okay, so it looks like you can play the whole thing. I've been told that it was going to get to work on the Dungeons and Dragons game. D&D was in my whole life. I ate, drank, and slept D&D, so I was really chomping at the bit to work on it. Jane Turjung. Tower of Mystery, EPROM. Or EPROM? Unlike retail cartridges, EPROM's erasable programmable read-only memory allow programmers to remove, replace, or rewrite the data on the chips during development. This Tower of Mystery EPROM is from Jane Turjung's personal collection. Reunited. In April 2024, Jane Turjung worked on the Video Game History Foundation to preserve one of the only known copies of Tower of Mystery. She was able to play her creation for the first time in 40 years. Well, that'd be exciting, wouldn't it? Mattel Electronics closes. After the 1983 game industry crash, the world's largest toy company suddenly found itself in grave danger. With a negative net worth, Mattel closed the electronics division in February 1984 and quickly sold the Intellivision assets to a group of investors led by Mattel executive Terry Valesky. Intellivision under new ownership. A group of Intellivision programmers, led by Keith Robinson, bought Intellivision's library of games in 1997 and made them available for more than a decade. Atari acquired Intellivision's assets in May 2024, bringing both brands under the same stewardship. The first console war. What we now call the console war started in earnest when Atari and Mattel battled for hearts and wallets of early 1980s gamers. In this video, players and participants on both sides reflect on the 50-year-old rivalry.
It's been noted over the years that when there are at least 2 and sometimes 3 consoles fighting it out is when the video game business is its healthiest.
I think there were only some of the business people for whom it was war. And even though I'm the one who started saying cartridge wars, that was a turn of phrase as a metaphor as opposed to and let's draw blood. But inside the toy industry, they really did think that way. Maybe it was mid-November of '82. And so we do a demo. But the VP of marketing, his fancy suit's in there. The VP turns his head very slowly and he looks at me and he goes, "What you have to understand, young man, is that we are at war. We are at war with Atari," which tells you the attitudes of Mattel. "Every sale that we make takes something away from Atari and gives it to us. And even if I can't sell it now, I can stop somebody from buying an Atari now with this game. And that's why we're putting it on television. And you have to understand that this is a war." I don't know if I can get my eyelids as low as his, but so we got the speech.
To Atari, it was a console war.
Television from Atari are the VP wars.
It's been noted over the years that when there are at least 2 and sometimes 3 consoles fighting it out is when the video game business is...
All right, I screwed up. What happened here? Let's start over, because I messed up. I hit the triggers.
It's been noted over the years that when there are at least 2 and sometimes 3 consoles fighting it out is when the video game business is its healthiest.
I think there were only some of the business people for whom it was war. And even though I'm the one who started saying cartridge wars, that was a turn of phrase as a metaphor as opposed to and let's draw blood. But inside the toy industry, they really did think that way. Maybe it was mid-November of '82. And so we do a demo. But the VP of marketing, his fancy suit's in there. The VP turns his head very slowly and he looks at me and he goes, "What you have to understand, young man, is that we are at war. We are at war with Atari. which tells you the attitudes of Mattel. Every sale that we make takes something away from Atari and gives it to us. And even if I can't sell it now, I can stop somebody from buying an Atari now with this game. And that's why we're putting it on television. And you have to understand that this is a war. I don't know if I can get my eyelids as close as low as his, but so we got the speech.
To Atari, it was a console war. To Mattel's Intellivision, it was a console war. To Activision, it was an opportunity.
And as kids, we didn't care at all. You know, I would go over friends' houses to play ColecoVision, and I was amazed. You know, like Donkey Kong was amazing. The controller sucked, but the games were still a blast to play, and we just ignored that. And same thing with Intellivision. Tons of fun games in Intellivision. The controller sucked, we didn't care. We were having fun playing the games.
It's just ironic that there's much less of a console war now, because, I mean, how many different consoles can you play Call of Duty on? All of them? Right. So it doesn't even work that way anymore. But if you wanted to play a particular game, if you wanted to play Plimpton's baseball or whatever they called it, you had to have the Intellivision. There was no other way. And that certainly did make it a battle.
If you go back and you look at the old Intellivision and Atari commercials and how they duel in different ways and sometimes make fun of each other and so on, you see the height of it as far as the public was concerned.
It was definitely a console war between the two console makers, but we could use any console we wanted, and in fact would occasionally do that. We would say this game would work so much better on the Intellivision, let's put it over on the Intellivision shelf and work on it when we can. So yes, there was a console war, but there were those of us who benefited from it.
I mean, Atari was so far ahead in sales, I don't think they really worried about the Intel. Maybe at first they did, but they were outselling it.
Yes, it was a war, but I think that the money was so heavily on the Atari side that, you know, Mattel was fighting a losing battle out the door.
Atari sold about 27.5 million VCSs. But that's between 1977 and 1991. I don't know if that's if the numbers for the Intellivision are from just Mattel Electronics, but their total run was about 3 million.
Well, you know, they say that history goes to the victors. As the guy who coined the term console war, I would say actually that Atari won the first console war, because as much as I hate to say it, we never caught Atari in sales. We never sold as many games. We never sold as many consoles. Making money in this business is something that you have to do in order to keep making games. We're driven by passion. We have a love of making games. In the end, console wars are the business part of it. We as game makers never felt like we were at war. We're just trying to build great games that will sell.
In the end, console wars are the business part of it. We as game makers never felt like we were at war. We were just trying to build great games. Yeah, you just said that. That's it. Look at that. We've done the whole thing. We've experienced all of Atari. There is a game library. We could just take a quick... Now, there's hidden games in here. I haven't looked up how to get them. There's little riddles and stuff. Well, let's take a look through the... So you got Haunted Houses. These are the reimagined games. Quadra Tank. Watch Me. Yar's Revenge. Akahara. That was a prototype, right? Asteroids Deluxe, Avalanche, Berserk, Black Widow, Breakout, Centipede, Cloak and Dagger. I'm guessing Cloak and Dagger... Loosely based on the 1983 action movie, Cloak and Dagger began as a project called Agent X. As a spy, players must steal information, defeat robots, and escape an underground lair before it explodes. Yeah, see, there are new games that weren't in the thing here. Shoot explosives, extra life, mystery, bonus points. Double speed, extra life. Look at this, though. I played this game before. I think I don't like it. This seems familiar. See what else is here. We'll just take a quick breeze through the library here. Crystal Castles, Destroyer, Fire Truck, Food Fight, Football, Frenzy, Gravitar, iRobot, yeah, the big face, Liberator, Lander, which is hard, Major Havoc, Maze Invaders, Millipede, Missile Command, Pong, there's Pong, Quantum, Red Baron, we played that, Skydiver, we played that, Space Duel, Sprint 8, Super Breakout, that's pretty good, Superbug, we played that, that's okay, Tempest, Warlords, 3D Tic-Tac-Toe, Adventure, Adventure 2, Air Raiders, Asteroids. See, here's a hidden one. You can, like, read this. In Dead End hides a secret room in Graves Academy. To find its treasure past the test, it's elementary. I haven't even really thought of these, so I'm not sure. Basketball, Berserk, the voice enhanced Berserk. Bowling. Did we play bowling? I don't think we played bowling. Here's another confidential game. The walls again come crashing down. Disorder of the One. When that game's special board is cleared, your secret task is done. Disorder of the One. The walls come crashing down. I mean, is that Breakout of some sort? Combat, Circus Atari. What's this one? Prototype comes out to play upon the fields of war. To find it, reimagine tanks. What are you waiting for? Reimagine tanks. Let's go to the reimagine. What was there? Quadra-tank? Yeah, but what do you do? Is it in one of these? Is it hidden in the? Is it hidden in a box somewhere?
Speed. Laser. Range. Laser. Speed. Range. Bounce. Rocket. Speed. Range. Shot. Health. Range. Shot. Health. Shot. Range. Speed. Rocket. Laser. Range. Speed. Shot. Speed. Rocket. Range. Shot. Bounce. Rocket. Shot. Shot.
Get out of here. I'm trying to find stuff in the boxes. Dude.
Range. Shot. Speed. Rocket. Laser. Shot. Range.
Come on now.
Range. Laser. Range. Shot. Health. Shot. Laser. Speed. Health. Speed. Range. Range. Shot. Laser. Shot. Speed. Speed. Shot.
And the boxes don't come back, so it could be in one of these boxes.
Rocket. Bounce. Range. Laser.
Maybe you gotta win a battle or something. That's a whole different story. Trying to win a battle.
Health.
It's hard to control, like for me, I don't know.
Shot. Shot. Speed. Range. Rocket. Bounce. Shot. Speed. Shot. Range. Shot. Shot. Speed. Rocket. Speed. 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 Health. Bounce. Speed. Rocket. Shot. 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 Speed. Speed. Range. 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 Rocket. Speed.
The speed and acuity of which the computer moves their tanks is the problem. Like, against other people that are struggling to go left and right, this might be fun. But the dudes, the tanks, they really got it down, you know? The computer really has it down. It's almost as if they don't have to worry about hand-eye coordination. It's almost as if...
Shot.
What a shot.
Range. Rocket. Range. Shot. Shot.
That's it.
Range.
Go to main menu. Okay. I don't know how to unlock it. So we got Canyon Bomber, Centipede, Circusitaria. Here's that one, Crystal Mines. Demons to Diamonds, Desert Falcon, dodge 'em. Fatal Run. Fatal Run was pretty good, if I remember. Frogs and Flies. Battleground in Sector 3 on Fields of Golden Void. If guests appear, don't hesitate, for both must be destroyed. Maze Craze. Millipede, Miner 2049er, Miniature Golf. Up the Wall, Outlaw, Quad Run, Race 500. I mean, you know, a real archive here of good stuff here. Like, I mean, this is a really nice package that they've put together. Sea Battle, Secret Quest, Skydiver. Skydiver's pretty good. Solaris, Star Strike. That was Hearts. What? Stellar Track. That was the text adventure, wasn't it? Yeah, no way, man. Super Breakout, Super Challenge Baseball, Super Challenge Football, Surround. Video Pinball, Warlords, Yar's Revenge, Berserk, Bounty Bomb Strikes Back. Are we into 5200? Yeah, we are. Millipede, Missile Command, Star Raider, Super Breakout, Zari Arena. Did we unreleased prototype? We didn't play that. Destroyed. Centipede for the 7800. Let's see what that one looks like again. Did we play the 7800 version? I mean, yeah, this is a good version of Centipede. I can't disagree. Multiple pieces of mushrooms, like the mushrooms break into multiple pieces. Everything runs very smoothly. Forgot you could hold the button down. Everything's just squeezing between my bullets. Ugh. Game over, yeah. Dark Chamber, Desert Falcon, Ninja Golf, which we discovered was pretty good. Scrapyard Dog, which wasn't. Basketball, volleyball, another scrap. What's 7800 Scrapyard Dog. Oh, and the Lynx. I forgot about the Lynx. Turbo Sub, Warbirds, Avalanche. Final Legacy. Atari 800. 3 action packs games in 1. 8 difficulty levels. The final battle to save the Earth. What the heck is this? In a post-war future, long dormant computers have resumed hostilities, unaware the world is at peace. As the commander of the battleship Legacy, players must navigate dangerous waters while destroying missile bases and defending their vessel through multiple action sequences. I like action. Whoop. Sea to air. What? Sea to land. No targets in range. Navigation. What? Sea to air. Liberty 100% intact. Sea to land? There's the range. How do you get to where there? Do I have to get on one of these white dots? Maybe. Sea to land? Sea to air? Something's happening. Where? Is it this? Oh, yeah, there's stuff here. Gotta destroy these luxury cruise liners. No ships. Is this all just... How do you know when it's like air to air and... What? I'm killing these dudes. I'm wasting them. This game's pretty good, actually. This game's pretty cool. I smashed into that guy, and that's how I saved America. Let's see here. Navigation. Can I get 2 in 1 here? Oh, no way. Get out of town. Stop being such a crazy. Fire? Oh. Games are hard. This guy's really moving it. Yes. Oh, but I took another hit. Okay. Navigation. So this must be... sea to air. All right, this game's cool. It's got a lot of cool things going on. It's a little mystical, a little mystic-comedy, a little this, a little of this, a little of that, a little of this, a little of that. A little of this and a little of that adds up to a lot, you know. Hopefully I don't have any ammo. Nope, that's it. Navigation. I guess these are always boats. Missile sites remaining. All right, I don't know. That's, I mean, you know, that's a pretty interesting game, actually. That's for the computer. So I don't know. I mean, I was only using the one button. I don't know if there's more controls for that or what. There's Food Fight, Hardball, Yoomp, Atari Carts. We played that. Club Drive. Missile Command 3D, Ruiner, Tempest, 2000, Trevor McFerrin. All right. Okay, well, we're missing a few hidden games, but, you know, that's all right. Okay, well, we've explored Atari. I think that's more than copacetic for Atari for now. I had a good time. I enjoyed that. That's a really nice package they put together. Yeah, it was a good time. All right, I'll be back next time with something else. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but, you know, it'll be awesome, obviously.